Hey all, new day, new verse as we continue on into Matthew 27. Today we are doing verses 45 through 56, and we're going to retouch a little bit perhaps on the last verses of the Crucifixion, but let's dig on into it. Here we go with the fun. Well, amazement more than the word fun, but there is beauty here, and let's dig into it. Backtracking to 41. The leading priests and religious leaders, teachers of religious law, and the elders mocked Jesus. He saved others, they scoffed, but he can't save himself. So he is the King of Israel, is he? Let him come down from the cross right now, and we will believe in him. He trusted in God, so let God rescue him, now if he wants him. For he said, I am the Son of God. Even the revolutionaries who were crucified with him ridiculed him in the same way. And this is where we want to pick up. Keeping in mind that about 9 o'clock in the morning is when this entire thing starts to happen. And so he has been getting ridiculed for the better part of 3 hours as we start this section. So let's get into it. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. About 3 o'clock, Jesus called out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you abandoned me? A psalm, actually. Some of the bystanders misunderstood and thought he was calling for the prophet Eliyahu. One of them ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, holding it up to him on a reed stick so he could drink it. But the rest said, wait, let's see whether Eliyahu comes for him. Elijah. When Jesus shouted again, he released his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the sanctuary from the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. The earth shook, rocks split apart, and tombs opened. The bodies of many godly men and women who had died were raised from the dead, and they left this area after Jesus' resurrection. Went into the holy city of Jerusalem and appeared to many people. The Roman officer and the other soldiers at the crucifixion were terrified by the earthquake. All that had happened, they said, this man truly was the Son of God. Many women who had come from Galilee with Jesus to care for him were watching from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of James and John, the sons of Zebedee. And we almost want to go into the burial, and I know when we've gone through this, we'll take it all as one beautiful moment, especially probably around Easter, since it's coming up in not too long. But this area here, there was so much that stuck out to me, and it's part of why I didn't post yesterday, is there were things that stuck out to me. Like the fact that he says, the psalm there, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, when he cries out, the fact that he has been suffering for the better part of 6 hours now. Being ridiculed, being jeered, those who are closest to him hiding away from him. Not until the last moments of his suffering do those who are outsiders truly see, wait, this is the Son of God. And I love the fact that the earthquakes and the rocks split apart and tombs open. Because these tombs are being thrown open by the force of the earthquake. And when I see the earthquake here, it's like, okay, so almost no human being at this moment is praying or praising God. In fact, there's all pain. Whether it be laughing at his suffering or to the point where it's only until after people realize it from the other Gospels that people are going, oh wow, we shouldn't be laughing at this. This is AFU. This is wrong. So this is a moment of suffering. And here we have an earthquake and the earth shook, and it strikes me that sometimes even the rocks cry out. We know the word says that even the rocks cry out, and I feel like this is a moment of both sorrow, upheaval, and joy. Not because of the joy of the moment, the joy of the promise to come. This is the kind of hope that we hold out in Christianity. We are not hoping in the suffering in that the suffering gives us hope. We are hoping in the suffering in that we know that God is greater than it. And he knows what is to come next. He is greater than. He is the one in control. So that when we are in the middle of Friday's afternoon disappointment, filled with sorrow and misery in our own form, we can hope to that Resurrection Sunday promise, to the promise that his rod and his staff comfort us, or to put it in 21st century language, his retractable leash comforts me. It is a place of trust that he is greater than, that he is greater over it, that he sees to it. holding to the lesson that is learned in Job. That because God is righteous, God is just, and because I do not have all the data required to say whether or not he is doing a good job, because how would I know? I am a human, he is God. I shall praise, and I shall trust. I shall trust in the fact that he loves me so. And I started digging into it as well as the fact that the sanctuary of the temple torn in two, God fully coming down from the mountain to the tabernacle, through the curtain out into this, so there is no separation between the Holy of Holies. That we are no longer separated or needing a middleman priest or any of these other things. We can go straight to God. And the fact that the church, the community of believers, it will be seen building up and holding to each other, much as the women here are doing. Mary, and the mother of James and John, whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head. That this is Mary, his mother, Mary of Magdala, and the mother of James and Zebedee. These are women who have been with him this entire time and are holding to each other. I mean, the next section that we picked up, we'll see that both Mary Magdala and the other Mary, and Jesus' mother, are sitting there across from the tomb watching. They're holding to each other. And admittedly, I know this section is kind of one of those questions of like, wait, does that mean that I don't care? I don't care. I don't want to touch any of the Mary Magdala and the Da Vinci Code stuff because it's not what's important here. In any way, shape, or form. I mean, as far as the Mary Magdala stuff goes and that whole Da Vinci Code-esque thing, I'll just ask you this. Do you believe men and women can have a platonic friendship? If so, then what does it matter? If not, why do you believe in the lack of self-control when it is a fruit of the Spirit? That is all I will bring up with the Da Vinci Code-esque stuff there. Because what I want to look at is the family. What I want to look at is the holding to each other. The church kind of family, not the, oh, well, this person sleeps with that one and that's gossip and I don't care. I don't. I want to dig what's into here. I want to dig here into the fact that these people who love him so, who are seeing this suffering, hold to each other. I want to look at the fact that as darkness fell across the whole of the land, a Roman historian wrote that it was as if the author of all creation was in mourning in that moment. And this is a Roman historian writing, mind you. One who did not know much of what had happened in that area. At least not until after the fact, not until after the works of Luke, getting the information out, the actions of Paul, getting the truth out. It's knowing that this is different. This is a very different moment in history, and it's a very different one where godly men and women, the dead raised and praising him as they come out with Jesus at the resurrection. Well, that would be a moment to remember. Yes, it would. And it is why even our dates changed. This is a shift moment. This is the moment where everything changed. This is the moment where the division of sin was dealt with so that we could truly be in intimate relationship with our Abba. This is the moment where death, hell, and the grave and the powers therein were lost, finally defeated. This is the moment when he cries out, calling out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. The same phrasing we do, the same psalm that David sung, the same that so many of us do. God, where are you in this moment? Why do I feel alone? Why do I feel abandoned? Why do I feel as though there is nothing to go on with? Why do I feel empty and full of sorrow and pain? And God is saying, it has all been dealt with and paid for. You are free. Acknowledge those sin moments. Turn to me. Turn away from those pains. Know that you are set free. Know that that power no longer holds anything over you. Be at peace, for you are loved. A very short message, but one that is pure. One that is leaning into the knowledge and truth that Jesus is the Son of God. And without him, we have no hope of being anywhere near God. His death toward the veil. Without acknowledging that, we can't get in. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through the Son. This is the truth of it. We need Him. And in this moment of suffering, He's going through it because He knows we need Him. Holding to the truth of, let your will be done, Abba. Something we should do as well. Because we trust. So that when we're going through the Job moments, when we're going through Friday disappointment, when we're going through struggles and trials and things that make us wonder if God even cares, we can say, but I have hope. We can say, I know my God loves me. So I shall look at this from that truth. I shall look at this situation not as the closed eyes of pain focused solely on the Friday, but I will look at it with the joy and hope of knowing Sunday. Because remember, Jesus told His disciples He would raise in 3 days. That they were even jeering Him. Well, He said He'd destroy the temple in 3 days. And Jesus is like, yeah, He's coming back then too. He said we would go through this. He said He would go through this. Why are we surprised? Should we not be rejoicing in the fact that He is consistent and will always lead us through the death valleys when we stop camping in them? When we stop holding to our own blanket systems and belief systems and our own trials and struggles, when we stop holding to the fact that they will last forever and start realizing that they have no power, they have no authority, they have no control because of this moment. He broke every chain. He breaks every chain. Every chain will be broken. Because that's who He is. It's just a matter of trusting Him to do so. Because He is God. And He is good. So hold to Him. Chase after Him with all you have and never let Him go. Because He is the source of strength. He is the refuge. And He saw from the moment of first sin all the way to the moment on the cross, all the way to now, everything that would be done. Every failure, every fault, every screw up, every prodigal child moment. And He said, I love you. I'm coming anyway. Stop fighting me. Stop fighting Him. Stop thinking it's your battle to fight and just praise. Because we worship the Ancient of Days, who knows, who sees, and who loves. So hold to that. Because He will never let you go. Unless He gave His Son so that He wouldn't have to. Use your free will, turn to Him. Because that's the ticket of it. God, all the way through, even in Jeremiah, says He's turned His face from them because they have turned their backs to Him. And yet even there, in one of the most powerful books of laying out the sin of Israel and of Judah, He says, but if you will but return to me, I will forgive your sin. Same then, same now, same up to the point He returns. If you will but turn to me, I will forgive your sin. So turn, be forgiven, be set free, and truly live. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow as we pick up the burial of Jesus and possibly the guarding of the tomb. I'll see you then. May His favor be upon you. Know that you are loved and do not give up hope. Because He is the source of our hope. And because He is, and because the world didn't give it, the world cannot take it away. The world cannot take Him away. So run. Run after your first love and never look back. Lest your heart be turned to a pillar of salt, much like Job's life. I'll see you then. Hold out truth and remember you're loved.